St. Louis City Boys, what it do? From the arch to the booth, we talk about you. City Boys in the loop.
Shout out to the St. Louis City Boys podcast.
They're in your head just like Roman Berkey. This is a City Boys podcast.
City leads you into the City Boys podcast right now.
Kings, queens, and in-betweens, welcome back to the City Boys podcast. My name is Ethan Thornton, and I am joined by two of my best friends in the whole world, Grayson and Jacob. But before, oh my goodness, we have a very exciting episode for you tonight because St. Louis City have their first win of this season, and we are going to get all the way into it. We have Kit Clash after that and a fantastic preview of New York City FC, who we don't play for a couple of weeks. But before we get into it, let me introduce my co-host, Grayson. Welcome back. We missed you last week. How are you doing?
It is good to be back. Sorry for ditching you guys. I had to work. I was at a restaurant, not getting paid enough to miss the podcast. I'll tell you that. But I did have a good weekend. I actually went up to Chicago this weekend, filmed a little Tiny Desk concert for one of my friends, Key. Honestly, I'm a big fan. So I'll plug that. Had a good time seeing my friends, taking a lot of video, played around with some cool cameras. It was a good time. Love it.
That's awesome, dude.
Jacob, how you doing?
My weekend was fantastic. It's Tuesday. It's off to a week of a start. I was the only City Boys in attendance for this game, and it was an incredible game. Did some big life things earlier that day on Saturday, and then my girlfriend was in town Sunday. Did have to drop her off at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday.
Ooh.
So that honestly is the only downside to my weekend, but it really wasn't that bad. So yeah, Ethan, since we always miss it, I won't miss it this week. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm so honored, Jacob. I appreciate it. I'm doing fantastic, boys. As always, it's another day in paradise when we get to record. And as far as my weekend goes, we had the annual alumni game for Spalding University. For those who don't know, I played college soccer. And boys, the alumni got it done this year. A 1-0 victory, kept a clean sheet. And it was a great time. No major injuries, just
That's
fun.
the biggest W.
Exactly. All good fun. A very competitive game nonetheless. So proud of the alumni, proud to get it done. And then I got to watch St. Louis City win for the first time this season afterward. Oh my goodness. I was excited. Are we ready to get into the game, boys?
Yes, please.
Very ready, very ready.
Grayson, if you don't mind, take us through the lineup, please, good sir.
I will. We've got the classic Damet 3-4-2-1 back in action. Starting in between the sticks in net, we had Roman Berkey. From left to right, we had Dante Polvara, Timo Baumgartel, and Yaziel Orozco running as our center backs. Into the midfield, we got our wing back on the left, Rafa Santos. Our midfield pivot, very, very good work this weekend. We got Daniel Edelman and Chris Durkin. Right wingback position, Conrad Valum. Up into the 10s, we did have a little shift around, not with Marcel Hartel, but we did see Celio Pompeu make his first start of the season. Big ups there. And then finally, Simon Becher, once again rounding out the starting 11. We did have only a couple substitutions. We only used 3 substitutes this week. Pretty interesting. But it kind of made sense once we saw the City 2 lineup this week. We'll get into that later. But we had Cordova coming in the 73rd minute. We had Lucas Magnotten coming in the 89th minute. And I cannot lie, I was a little pissed when I saw Magnotten coming in, because I was like, where's Mbake? But 1 minute later, we saw Mbake Fall make his debut in the MLS for St. Louis City. Didn't really get to see too much. We got 7 minutes of extra time, but I just can't wait to see more of the dude. It was a good time. What did you guys think of adding Celio Pompeu to this lineup? What do you guys think he brought this week?
So to backtrack a little bit, Celio, I think only made the start because of Cedric Toyshirt's like slight injury that he's got. I think this was Toyshirt's spot.
Most
Um,
likely.
but I really liked it. I liked what Celio brought as well as the different tactical move in bringing Celio in because Celio was getting very high and very wide, which was creating a lot of space underneath for Conrad Vollum to tuck into,
Yep.
which we saw Vollum get into some really good spaces and have another Conrad Vollum-esque chance on a half volley. So I really liked that switch up, as well as I know we've got some center backs making their way towards the starting 11 here, but I really thought our backline played well, bar one or two opportunities throughout the match. But other than that, I mean, not a ton to complain about as far as production goes when you win.
Yeah, winning does cure all, Jacob. It makes the lineup problems feel a little less problematic because, yeah, I completely agree, Jacob. Celio was a fantastic addition to the starting 11. I thought the dynamic that he brought in 1v1 situations on that right side was so electric, especially in the first half. It felt like the majority of our attacks went through that right-hand side, and it's no surprise that it was in correlation with his start. So I would not be surprised to see him continue that start. And I thought another interesting note in this starting 11 was the continued belief in Simon Becher, boys. I thought that we had reached the point where Sergio Cordova would be starting in this game, but nope, he sticks with him, and Simon Becher rewards Damet's decision with a goal. So honestly, I'm still sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm liking what Damet's got to put out. And again, yeah, another good performance from the double pivot as well. Daniel Edelman named to the team of the match day, and Chris Durkin still running his socks off.
Chris
Yeah.
Durkin with the man of the match, too.
I think Edelman did. I thought Edelman got man of the match. Did he not?
Chris Durkin got man of the match.
Oh, interesting.
At least he did inside of the stadium. If Fop Mob
at
has it
least.
Yeah,
differently.
Pop Mob has it.
At least for St. Louis City, he was the man of the
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
No worries. No, I do real quick just want to kind of agree with Ethan and say that broadly I'm very impressed with Damet's ability. It seems like he found his favorite 11 pretty early on and how he wants to see City play. We are seeing little tweaks here and there as people get back to health and as he experiments more with the offense. But I think with the defense in the midfield, especially in this game, we see the benefits of letting these players play with each other for 5 matches in a row. We see Edelman and Durkin figuring out how to rotate together and how to shift across the field. Still working out tweaks as the Revolution did get one, but overall look pretty organized, and I'm pretty impressed that we got this done without most of the ball too. So it's an interesting one for sure.
Grayson, I want to piggyback off that because you made a point that I also noticed, especially in the first half, between Durkin and Edelman, and to your point with them playing together so much. At times, I noticed Durkin being the widest player on the field to connect the defense and the attack. And at first, I was scared, but the way that the team connected and played out of pressure against New England was really impressive. At times, a remnant of a Columbus Crew side that was very good. Maybe I'm getting a little delulu, but that's what I saw. I saw a team that was confident in possession despite being under pressure, and I would love to see that continue. I think that a big part of that is because they've played so many games together. But without any more waiting, we'll get into the game. I think it's important to start on this note. In the 10th minute, there was a really beautiful tribute inside the park to Ilona Lovin with a minute of silence between the 10th and 11th minute, with signs being held up in her honor and gray jerseys all over the park. Salute to all in attendance at City Park. It was a beautiful tribute on screen. It was like, it gives me goosebumps talking about the moment of silence in the game. Jacob, what was that like in the park?
It was pretty incredible. and I don't want what I'm about to say to hold any negative weight, but it was very similar to the COVID days of hearing live sports because you could hear a pin drop in the stadium so much that you could hear every call out that was happening on the field.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was a person speaking or making any noise throughout the minute of silence for her. The signs were handed out. Like I didn't even get a match day pamphlet. The only thing I got handed at the door was a in honor sign for Ilona Lovin. And everybody was on the same page with it too. Like the supporter section where I was at, like they stopped, I want to say, chanting about 10 seconds before the 10th minute had kicked off. And everybody started putting their signs up, and I was really impressed and also like solidified with the rest of the stadium and how everybody took part in it. And it wasn't like, one half or just the supporter section, like everybody put their signs up and were quiet. So shout out to all the city fans and most importantly, all my love to the Leuven family right now.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, it would be New England striking first in the 13th minute when Feingold would find himself on the end of a cross. He really would get this redemption finish. He had a chance early on and he completely fluffed a bad chance for a striker. But New England go up early 1-0. Pretty poor man marking in the end from Rafa Santos, who gets caught ball watching, and Feingold runs off his shoulder, just taps it in basically. But St. Louis City did not they didn't drop their shoulders.
So for the next events, City were really on the front foot of this match. It felt like the remainder of the match, and it really kicks off with New England having a little bit of possession in their defensive third, trying to work it around. But we saw the result of our high press pay off when the ball gets kicked out to the Revolution's midfielder with his back to Daniel Edelman. Edelman presses him really good when he receives it, and there's just the slightest push coupled with the one time this season a slip has gone our way, and the ball finds Daniel Edelman's feet as his midfielder is literally face down in the dirt. He picks his head up, perfectly weighted pass into Simon Becher, who takes a touch, hits a little Ronaldo, Cruyff turn, whatever you want to call it, back behind his legs to create enough space, and then enough power in a split-second decision to rifle it through the hands of U.S. men's national team #2 goalkeeper Matt Turner into the top of the net. The crowd went absolutely insane. I was losing my mind. The rest of the stadium was losing their mind. Little fun fact, like a few minutes before Simon gets his goal, I turned to one of the fans in the stadium and I was like, I hate him right now. And then he scored, and moments after he scored, I was like, I don't hate him anymore. He's back in my good graces.
How could you not after that touch of class and then a smashing finish? It looked confident from Simon, that take, didn't it? It did not look like a man who hasn't scored in over 300 minutes. That was a pure striker's finish, and I hope that it breaks the flood dam for Simon Becher. I hope the goals start pouring in now.
His footwork's kind of impressed me this season. I've seen him do stuff with the ball I have not seen in his first season with us. So I'm
Agreed,
excited.
yeah.
He's
And
cooking
it's good to
something.
see St. Louis City's principles paying off as well. In post-match press conferences, we hear them talk about their high press and how they want it to pay off. And there it is, a turnover in their half, high up the field, one pass, two touches, and a finish. It's exactly what you want to see from St. Louis City. Well, we'll move into the next major event of the match, which is right around the 43rd minute, where St. Louis, we hold on to that lead pretty confidently for the remainder of the first half, but we win a corner kick, and this time it's Chris Durkin pounding it home from close range. Venomous service from Rafa Santos. He put this ball on an absolute platter for Chris
Nice.
Durkin, who was absolutely butt naked. No one marking him. And then Chris Durkin is caught between two minds. Do I head this in or do I volley it in? Thankfully, he picks the volley, gets his body right, and just sees it into the back of the net. Potential for the celebration of the season as well.
Yeah,
Quite a good belly slide into the supporter section corner. Boys, right before halftime, this was absolutely needed. Chris Durkin has been a gem for this team this season. He's been running all over the field, and to see his efforts rewarded with a goal, immense for me. I was shouting at my phone. I was so happy that he scored.
I think amazing goal. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, dang, I do not want Matt Turner playing for US because in my mind, you got to be going up and punching that. Like you got to be moving. You can't be waiting for that second ball there as a keeper. If it's getting swung in my 6 yard box, I'm up there. I'm up there. But
I will say,
very happy.
so there's three people to credit for this goal. There's Santos for a peach of a ball. There's Durkin for getting the finish right, even though I don't know how you. There are two goals in this game where players are falling as they're finishing the shot. And this was the first of them. And the third person I want to credit is Dante Polvara because his run towards the near post drags two defenders with him and really congests, to your point, Grayson, the area in which Matt Turner should be jumping and trying to punch out that ball. However, there's like no room for him to get in there, which is all benefit to Dante Polvara. And then, yeah, once again, Chris Durkin sends it home. A crowd erupts as well, directly in front of the supporter section. My one gripe with the supporter section sometimes is it's kind of tough to tell when the ball goes in the back of the net if it doesn't go in with like venom and like really rifle the actual net. It's kind of hard to like depth perception wise to tell where the ball is right in that 6 yard box. But Grayson, end us off with the goal.
I can do that. I can do that. Part of me really wanted to build this up like the Phil Foden pass. Like, what a pass! But it would be Colombian Brian Ceballos and Jackson Ewell, who are taking turns spraying the ball back and forth while the Revolution have possession and try to get something out of this match. Passing it along the back line, trying to pick out a hole in the St. Louis press. When Ceballos forgets Marcel Hartel exists. He loses focus and just passes the ball straight into his path. And Marcel Hartel, quote, takes a bad touch, sees Turner a bit out of position and swings his leg at it. And we see that ball soar across the field and into the goal over a diving Turner. But the placement is so nasty. Sometimes when I see a goal from half field just like floating and it might bounce, like, it's not as good. This one literally like over a diving Matt Turner. If Matt Turner could have been in the goal, that might have still gone in. I don't know.
It snuck in.
It really did sneak in there. Hartle calls game. That's 3-1. St. Louis City. Out of, I think, 7 minutes of extra time, St. Louis were able to hold it out pretty comfortably, and I'm very proud of this 3-1 win. 3 points for St. Louis City. Finally, we can say that we can go from their City's 3 points to the City Boys 3 points. How about that? I love that.
Let's freaking go, dude. Yeah, that was Jacob. You pointed this out early on in the season, and I've been watching for it ever since. The 90-minute performance, a full, complete game from St. Louis City. And once again, that's what I saw from this team. In added time, Marcel Hartel is still firing shots on goal. It's a team that wants to win. They want to look good. They want to impress the fans at home. And that's why I'm really happy with this team. I'm glad to see him rewarded with 3 points. It's nice to have good vibes around St. Louis City right now.
Oh, it was incredible. So much so, I guess if I started with the first goal, I'll start with the first point because my point is short and sweet, and it's mostly just a monkey off my back that I am not the problem. Okay, the curse of Jacob Ratcliffe in attendance for City games is completely broken. I have seen, I think, about 9, 10 home games since I have moved. And other than this one, I've only seen one other victory, and it was against San Jose. And the game-winning goal in that took place in stoppage time at the end of the second half. So this one was really, really nice to see. I will say now, gentlemen, the curse is on one of the two of you. because I guess not Grayson. I was with Grayson. Ethan, the curse is on you because
Yeah.
you and I have not been present together at a home game for a City victory.
Yeah. Right now, I am the City Boys curse holder at the moment. Barbie Dior holder and
We're
curse holder.
passing it along like the Barbie Dior. It's perfect.
Well, I'm glad you got to see a City victory, Jacob. You deserve it just as much as the players do, as far as I'm concerned. Out there, I know you were shouting
Man of
all
the
90
match.
minutes.
Hey, I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna take the second point, Grayson, because it kind of piggybacks off exactly what I was just talking about the game, which is the belief. And my point this week is that belief pays off. Yohan Damet has believed in his system since match day one. He knew that it was going to be a slow start to the season. He was hoping for 4 points out of those first 4 games, or maybe the team was. Either way, he stuck with the 11. He stuck with the tactics. He did not break or crack under pressure despite fans feeling anxious. And what do we get but a win, including a Simon Becher goal? People, including the City Boys, had been asking, maybe is it time for Sergio Cordova? Myself included. I'll be the first to admit it. Now I'm saying that we should keep the momentum going, boys. Simon Becher scored a goal. He has an assist so far this season. He played pretty good. As far as I'm concerned, his effort levels are there as well. He's making defensive sprints to win the ball back in his own half. He's leading the line from the front, and you can tell that he wears that with a badge of honor. Before we get into your point, Grayson, I want to pose a question to the group. I posed this question to our Instagram story, but I would love to know what you guys think. Should Simon Becher continue to start? We only have Sergio Cordova on loan for, 9 more games now?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So there's a valid question there. It's like if we sign him on a DP level contract for him to come in and substitute is not exactly ideal, or I would say. But also, in my opinion, it's unfair to sit Simon Becher. So I believe that we should keep starting Simon Becher. I think that we should keep the momentum going with Simon until we're shown otherwise that Sergio should be starting. But also on the flip side of that coin, in my opinion, I don't think Sergio's shown enough to warrant a start now that Simon Becher has a goal and an assist to his name. So I want to pose a question to the group now. Should Simon continue to start, or is it Sergio time?
I do want to say that earlier today, Ethan posed that question on our Instagram story, and Foxborough Fortress replied that he's an ass. And I agree. And that's why I like Simon Becher. He is...
He's our ass.
He's our ass.
That's the city's ass.
He will get in your defender's head. In this match, we saw him get in Matt Turner's head.
Yep.
He's obviously in all of the Revolution fans' heads. Foxborough Fortress. He's in your head, which is exactly why I love him. He may not be... he may not have the output that Klaus did, but this goal to me was very Klaus-esque in the way that he was able to collect the ball, hit a nice chop behind the back, and set the put the defender off balance before slotting it home is very, very Klaus-like. So to me, I think I said at the beginning of the season that we give Simon Becher 4 to 5 games starting to see what he's got. We're at that mark. He's got a goal and assist. That's 2 goal contributions in 5 games. And I think that we are now starting to see the benefits of all the work that we've done in the first couple games. So I think I'm going to say that Simon has earned himself another 4 to 5 matches to see what he can do there.
Short leash.
It is a short leash.
Wow,
4 to 5
my
matches.
leash is shorter.
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
It's 1 goal and 1 assist. I like what he's cooking. But I also agree with Ethan that when Cordova's come off the bench, he hasn't been bad, but I also haven't seen much.
Jacob.
I'm gonna defend Cordova a little bit, because I don't disagree with you guys. I will say in the games in which he's featured, the whole team hasn't really showed us much either.
Yeah.
This is our first W that we're talking about, and rightfully so. Simon Becher deserves some of that limelight. He played it fantastically. My leash, however, though, is going to be on a game by game basis going forward. I think we stick with him against New York City in
Yeah.
2 weeks and see how he performs in that one. Mathematically at this point, so he's 2-5, so he'd be 4-10, so then he'd be 8-20, he'd be 12-30, give or take. 12 goal contributions in
Not
30
great.
games from your starting strikers, not really fantastic,
But
especially if it's split down the middle, 6-6.
it's kind of what we expected from Betcher, though.
Yeah, that's a
It
low
is.
expectation though, like because he
Yeah.
hasn't produced that much. I would say now that he is the starting number 9, the expectation for him should rise. And I'd like it going forward, if he's the main man, I'd like him to eclipse 15 and be touching around 20 by the end of the season in order for me to be like, all right, let's sign him to a longer term contract as our number 9. But in short, a new phrase I learned this past weekend, TLDR.
Okay.
Too long, didn't read. Simon Becher's on a game by game basis for me right now. I would like to see what he's got in the next match and then continue to decide based off performance.
Well, hey, if my point is any way to live or answer this question, then belief paying off. I'm gonna keep believing in Simon Becher and hope for the best. Grayson, that's my point. What's your point, my boy?
So, my point for this week is titled "In the Driver's Seat." And it's a double entendre in a sense. That's what I was. Anyways, I think St. Louis City has played in this match, played very similarly to what we've seen in the other match days, the other 4 match days, but with one major difference, that being drive. I was pretty devastated early on when the Revolution scored, and I thought, the Revolution was supposed to be our break. We finally get a winnable match after coming up against some of the best teams in the MLS this season, at least. And once I saw that goal go in, I was like, damn, are we worse than I thought? But I think in that moment, we knew what we needed to do. That moment truly was rock bottom for St. Louis City. If we had lost, gone down 1-0 to Revolution, and not pulled our way out of it, we would not be happy.
The podcast would be sounding a little bit different today. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
So we knew we needed to do something. We needed to make something happen, and that is drive. We needed to drive to the goal. We needed to drive to the win and get us past this hump. And I think for example, the embodiment of this, of my frustrations in the past 4 match days has been Conrad Vollum. And this match, I saw a different Conrad Vollum. The Conrad Vollum that I loved last season, and that's a Conrad Vollum that plays with confidence, actually drives at a defender. I saw him dribble towards a defender. It was crazy. He moves the ball into dangerous areas. And I think another player that's a great example of the positives is Chris Durkin, because it's a beautiful example of determinations. Get in the right spots, and eventually the ball is going to fall to your feet, and you just got to put it in net, and that's exactly what he did. We just got to keep getting in these correct positions, and eventually it's going to come our way. Outside the match, St. Louis has our first win. All right? Spirits are high. Damet has made me smile. So now we are in the driver's seat. Where are we going next? Obviously, we have a tough road ahead of us, but days like this make me excited for the future. So I think we need to take these lessons that we learned from this last match day, and that being that we need to have this drive, this almost insatiable desire to win and keep pushing towards the goal. We need that in every match day, and it does suck because we can't. Not every game is a home game where we can scream and yell and push the team ourselves. And so next match day, it's truly a test of if the team can do it without us, if they can have that drive. That's my point for this week.
I hope we're driving to another 3 points, Grayson.
I hope we're driving.
I hope we're on the way.
All right, let's go ahead and get into Kit Clash. Ring that damn bell. Bing, 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 bing. All right. So this week, we've faced off against the Revolution's away kit, the Gillette kit. I don't really know what else to call it. It's just the New England Revolution away kit. Before I give my opinion, I want to hear what you guys go first, because apparently you guys actually really like this kit. What's going on?
Well, no surprise. This is a High on White Kit podcast.
It's green!
This is a majority white kit podcast. And I really did like the green. New England Revolution's colors are, navy, red, and white. Historically, they're a very patriotic branded soccer team, which isn't bad. There's a lot of ways to make that right, and there's a lot of ways to mess that up. I think this one is pleasing. I really like the green pattern. And it's not a super flashy and it's not a super dud for me. So I'm gonna give my rating we're just gonna just even keel 7.0.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to go a bit higher on that kit, Jacob. I can't lie.
It didn't super wow me.
I'm coming in pretty hot then, because y'all know my favorite color is green, and we like white kits. So you put the two together, and you got something pretty good most of the time. And I like the pattern on this kit. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but that wasn't the seller for me. What I saw on TV when I rewatched this game was a shimmering kit on the screen. Like it was almost like glitching the pattern because it was so cool. And once I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's a cool jersey. I think that's very cool. So for me, this is a jersey that I think I could wear without other soccer gear and style and pull off. So I'm going to go for a 9.6, a pretty good jersey.
Oh, wow. Very high.
I'm high on this kit.
Very interesting. I don't like this kit. Okay, to me, this kit is a Gillette kit. It doesn't feel like a Revolution kit. It feels like a Gillette kit. It feels like a brand's kit. Like they make a soccer jersey for this shaving cream. Boom. Gillette. I'm not a fan. I'll give it a 5 flat. That's all.
That's fair, Grayson. You're not being as harsh as I thought. And when you put it next to their other kit, their like the throwback kind of inspired jersey that they have this year, that's their home kit. It doesn't look as great, but I like them both. New England has 2 hits on their end this year, in my opinion.
I am interested to see if they ever touch like a similar denim kit that the U.S. men's national team wore back in the 90s. I feel like if there is a team that could pull off the denim kit, it would be the Revolution, just because of their branding. Maybe like Austin could, because, there's Cowboys in Texas.
I think they should dress up like soldiers in the Revolutionary War, like the tights and like the puffy coat.
Bro, there's a denim kit already. They got the Nashville denim kit. That's not doing it for
Oh,
me.
yeah. I
true.
forgot they did that this year.
That's true.
Anyways, enough on the jerseys. We got another game to talk about because St. Louis City's upcoming opponent is New York City FC. And we're going to be playing them at Yankee Stadium. I believe that's going to be our first trip to Yankee Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. And I am 100% sure that the Toasted Raviolis will be in the building for that game.
Mhm.
So hype for them. Hope they have a great time. Hope they get to see a St. Louis City win. But a little on NYCFC, they have three players worth noting for me, including Maxi Morales. He is a very creative player, one of the best attacking players in the East, and that is a very stacked conference of attacking players, if you ask me. He looks a little old. He's got the salt and pepper going on, but don't let looks deceive you. He is very shifty, very quick, and has very good vision on the ball. Their current top scorer is Nico Fernandez, and if I'm not mistaken, he scored a banger of a free kick against Inter Miami over the weekend. They are coming off of a 3-2 loss to Inter Miami most recently, but currently are sitting at second place in the Eastern Conference, NYCFC boys. So it's they're just behind Nashville with 10 points through 5 games and 13 goals in those 5 games. So they are looking pretty dangerous in the attack. But don't worry, they only have one more player worth noting, and wouldn't you know it, it's another U.S. men's national team hopeful for the World Cup. Probably their current number one, Jacob, because you alluded to their number two earlier. It's Matt Freese in net once again for the New York City FC. That doesn't strike confidence into my heart. Although going into this game, we got momentum. We got 2 weeks until this game. So, boys, I'm feeling good. I've been sipping that Damet Kool-Aid, and going into this NYCFC game, I'm feeling another victory, and I'm going for 2-1 this time. I think NYCFC's attack is very formidable and very solid. So I'm gonna pick them to score, but I got us winning, and I'm going to say Marcel Hartel continues his scoring form and scores a little bit less of a world class goal.
Dude, NYCFC is a crazy team. Last season they weren't one of the best teams in the league. I think they finished fifth or sixth. But then when they got to playoffs, they actually had a really good run. And we've seen that form lead into this season as well. Yeah, Nico Fernandez, 5 goals in 5 games. I'm worried about him. And yeah, Maxi Morales is 39 years old, has a goal and 4 assists in 5 games. Like, that's crazy. He's still got it. That's nuts. And then another thing, I will say that Matt Freese actually conceded an absolute stinker against Inter Miami this past week. It was a free kick, and he just dove the wrong way. Like, it literally went behind him.
You've been a goalie, Grayson. You've faced a deflected shot in your day.
I always went the right way.
Fair, fair.
No, I actually I am not a Matt Freese fan. There's I feel like because I was a goalkeeper, I'm very critical of USA's goalkeeping options, and I'm not a fan of really any of them. One of my favorites was Ethan Horvath. Now he's in the league as well. So I don't know. It'll be an interesting one to see who USA ends up with. Obviously, with the World Cup coming up this summer, we're gonna have this conversation a couple more times, I'm sure. So I'll save it for a USA themed episode. How about that?
That's good.
Jacob, how do you feel?
Are you gonna give a prediction?
Oh, okay, whatever. I'm gonna say that we win this game. I'm gonna keep the scoreline 3-1, and I'm gonna say that Simon Becher is not a fraud, and he's gonna have 2 goals in 2 games.
The reason I wanted you to make your prediction is because it has been stated multiple times that I'm going to battle through hell to get the Barbie Dior, and I don't want any asterisks next to my championship at the end of the season. So, gentlemen, I'm actually going to go for a 2-2 draw. I don't think we collect all 3 points on the road. And if the judges will allow it, I would like to pick the player who plays center attacking mid next to Marcel Hartel for this match. It's going to be either Toyshirt if he's back from injury or Celio Pompeu, but I will only pick the one that starts. I won't get both of them.
Okay,
So
I'll allow
whoever
that.
starts in that center attacking mid role.
I'll allow it. We'll do this.
2-2 draw.
Who did I pick to score last week? Do you remember?
That is a good question for my boy Grayson. He
I'm
might
great.
know that. No, I can't remember who you picked.
I picked Cordova's first goal. That's what it was. Okay.
Man, I picked Mackay Joyner last week. I'm feeling a little butthurt about that, but
That is Santos from a free kick.
Okay.
at least Joyner bagged a goal during
Did
the
anybody
62
get the
game.
scoreline right?
No, you guessed 2-1, and I guessed 3-2.
And I guess
So we got pretty dang close.
All right, well, it was a 0 point for everybody week then.
We
Why did
peppered
I-
the strike zone.
Why did I pick a tie? I'm such an idiot. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. Grab bags. We got any grab bags this week? I think the only one that I have is what I alluded to earlier when we talked about City's starting lineup. St. Louis City 2 had a match this weekend against LAFC 2, and we saw probably the most stacked City 2 lineup I've ever seen, including Falu
At least
Fall.
defensively.
Yeah, defensively for sure.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
But also, Song Bin was in the starting lineup. McScorley, and was Joyner also in the starting lineup? Because that's a nasty front three.
Yeah.
McNaughton as
Lunt,
well.
Mbake, Lucas McNaughton, Falou Fall, Miguel Perez, and Mackay Joyner, and like you said, Sangbin and McSorley, all in the starting 11 for City 2. So if you've been considering going to a City 2 game, if you're like, why would I do that?
Basically, City won.
You're almost guaranteed to see some first team players. I thought that something notable from that squad, though, notably Josh Yarrow and Kyle Hebert not included on the bench or in that team for either match this weekend. So just something to keep an eye on. No, there's no rumors or anything. I don't even necessarily want to come up with any, but who knows? Who knows what's happening there?
They're coaching.
I think there's been a big signing in the MLS. Antoine Griezmann to Orlando City was announced as confirmed in July once the World Cup is over. So for the second half of this season, we can expect to see Orlando City and Antoine Griezmann.
That's crazy.
That is a pretty crazy pull for Orlando City. There's been a lot of big stars coming to the league, boys.
It's kind of weird that I have an Orlando jersey and a Griezmann jersey sitting right next to each other, actually.
You basically have an Orlando Griezmann jersey.
That's weird.
My grab bag is just going to be a little note from being in the supporter section this past weekend. Two things, hilariously, lots of shirtless men throughout the victory. Lots of
We're
shirtless
so
men.
back.
Which was kind of like a wow factor for me. I had not seen that many shirtless men in St. Louis City Stadium ever. I was like, this is a lot of people with their shirts off. Secondly, shout out to the guy and his son who were behind us, who then proceeded to be in front of us. Because after, I don't remember who scored, but I was out of a beverage and he wanted to cheers as a celebration. So he let me drink some of his beer. And I didn't just drink some of his beer. I did waterfall that thing into my mouth like a god. Chugged pretty good until it filled up a little bit faster than I could swallow. So then it got all over me. And I thought he was going to be upset, but instead he doubled down on excitement and he cheered for me. So
Started pouring it all
What
over
a
me.
legend.
I repaid the favor by bringing a beer back for him to do the same thing. And if I got to be honest, my chug skill was a lot better and a lot cooler. His waterfall was about 1 inch long. Mine was about
Hey.
it was about that long. Edit that however you want to, Grayson. I know it's incriminating, But that was a good time in the supporter section this weekend.
That's awesome, dude.
Good weekend overall. Spirits are high. The weather was nice. Ah, God, we're so back.
Are we back? Jacob, take us out of here.
So shout out to you guys for watching this long / listening this long. And if you have and you are not subscribed or following the channel, make sure you do that. Make sure you follow us on all socials as well. They're listed in the description as well as coming across the screen right now. Comment, rate 5 stars, like the video, all the stuff. But most importantly, especially with everything that's going on with the club and in the world, make sure you tell your mother that you love her. Peace. STL. STL. STL.
St. Louis.